Hey YouTube, what's up? This is the Reluctant Navi back again. And this is going to be straight up commentary and another message to preach, right? And part of the problem with what I'm about to say is, again, as youth, many of us black men were raised by single black mothers, and in that we were not taught any kind of boundaries because the black women in and of themselves don't have boundaries. All right. Everything that black women do that's evil, they seem to get rewarded for. I'll explain that in a minute. But that does not go for black men. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't go for black women either. Right? It's just that we're in a corrupt, wicked society run by a white man system that whose religion we follow that is destructive to our way of life, and it's even destructive to the white man's way of life when you really look at it, that these little whorish acting women will go around and destroy everything, and they care of nothing. Remember, they care of nothing but fame, notoriety, and the fame they want is infamous fame, right? And then black women come on people's channel and say, oh, you can't say women. You can't say black women. All right? But yes, you can. Explain that in a minute. But first, let me greet everybody. Good dag, hola, oi to the bem, vasos los, bonjour, mes amis, kedu, bawani, konnichiwa, ni hao ma, sani bonani, jambo habayagani, assalamu alaikum, shalom, guten tag. Right? And thank y'all for watching my videos. Please share this video. Share this across the thing. Across all, whatever you have, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, all the rest of that stuff. Please share this video because this one is an important one. So for you righteous brothers out there that have a problem with what I'm about to say, as you should, then we need to take action against these the triple S crew, that do this kind of stuff. Now I'll explain that in a minute, right? So this video is to put triple S crew member Derick Fisher, sorry behind, on blast. So what he should be called rhymes with blast, but I just put ABC. All right, for sexing a teammate's wife. And he did this as he was the coach of the said teammate, while the dude was still married to her. So they referred to this whorish woman as Derick Fisher's. Hold on, because this just gave me a headache. They referred to another man's wife as another man's girlfriend in the reports, right? And I'm gonna just say this, throwing a shout out to Jada Black, because what I'm gonna put his video that y'all need to see, because he broke down the child support scheme, right? Which is what made me upset about this, right? So he has the video up, but I was watching this video and I decided to do a video because of what I saw in his video, right? So I put the YouTube thing in this video, and remind me in case I forget to put it in the description box so that you can go and click on Jada Black's video on the breakdown and child support part of it. But I will allude to that video as I do this one. Okay, so I'm going to allude to that video, but you have to go watch his video to get the full understanding. You're going to kind of get some understanding, but go watch this video, right? He throws out some numbers and stuff. I'm not going to get into the numbers because he covers that in his video. All right, so basically, Um, this is going to be the Daily Mail, right? And the report goes like as such that Nix didn't respect Fisher after he got with Barnes' wife by Robert Little. All right. And this was February 9, 2016. Right? Here is the thing. As we get into the story, he writes, most NBA players sided with Matt Barnes in his beef with Derek Fisher. But it wasn't that Fisher just slept with his once friend's wife that turned Knicks players against him. It was the fact that he did it during a Knicks training camp. All right, the fact that the coach is going to sleep with one of the people he's coaching's wife, that's enough for me right there. Right? That's enough right there for me to go up in a tizzy, right? But he did it at the worst possible time to do it too, during Nick's training camp. All right. According to Wojo, that was the beginning of the end for him being Nick, Derek Fisher, right? So here we go. That's why the team wasn't doing so well. That's why the New York Knicks can't ever do well, right? Because you got these so-called black men being raised by these single black women, growing up to act just like the black women that raised them. Right? Now, I will say this. Most of us brothers on my channel was raised by a single black woman. But we're on my channel is because we both realized that something was horribly wrong with that. And as we tried to grow into men on our own after we hit 20, right, with a lot of us, some did it through the military, some did it through trial and error. All right, we realized that we were disadvantaged, but we knew something was wrong with the behaviors we were taught by the black woman. Oh yeah, our mama black. You see what I'm saying? There was just something wrong with that. Right? And so basically, we realized that there are certain lines that should not be crossed. But as you can guess, a lot of dudes grow up maintaining the mentality that the mother put in them. Why? Because these women seek to have us destroyed. Like this woman here. All right? So, it goes on to say, as a young NBA coach, the fastest path to losing the locker room comes this way. Behave like a player. To fly to California and visit a girlfriend, there we go, in the middle of the New York Knicks training camp. Engaging Matt Barnes in a Tom and Jerry tussle and chase cost Derek Fisher dearly. Fisher, all right, listen to this. This triangle is going to cost everybody, but who? The wannabe black woman. All right, so this is going to cost Derek Fisher, right? Derek Fisher lost a moral high ground inside Madison Square Garden. Lost a measure of gravitas as the leader of men. The embarrassment of this unfilmed Real Housewives episode didn't cost Fisher his job as Knicks coach, but it did starting on a slippery slope towards his firing on Monday. That October weekend, Odyssey was Fisher's choice, and the blame for it all, including the failure to return to the New York, including the failure to return to New York in time to conduct a Knicks practice belonged to him. So all that to screw another man's wife. All right, so this is the video from Jada Black. And don't worry, I just put it in here so that I know and I have a reminder. You need to see this video And so I'm going to put it in the description box. And whoever the first person is to comment, um, and remind me to put it in the description, remind me to put it in the description box. All right. The first, the first subscriber to comment. All right. All right, so this continues from another Daily Mail reporter, right? Memphis Grizzly player, so he's on the Grizzly now. Matt Barnes only stopped beating Knicks coach Derek Fisher when his children begged him. When his children begged him to. A report claims the two NBA heavyweights were once close friends, but have been driven apart since Fisher began dating Barnes' estranged wife, Gloria Govan. All right. So understand this. You have this wannabe black woman. She acting black like a black woman too, knowing that the two men are friends, and she's going to sleep with her husband's basketball coach. Remember, LeBron James's mother was sleeping with his teammates. This is happening all the time. And when LeBron James's mother was sleeping with his teammates, trust me, the teammates were younger than his mom. It was an embarrassment. These black women don't care. But think about it. You sellouts and sambos that don't have no lines because you want to maintain the teachings of your mama, like you can't grow to be a man. Any Negro that can't grow up and separate from the teachings of his mom has not become a man yet. Let me repeat that. Any black dude, any Negro that cannot separate his mentality from that of his mom, cannot separate from his mom, you are not a man yet. A man has his own mind. Do you understand that as a man becomes a man, no one woman has charge over that man anymore, not even his mom? If you read the scriptures, it says, honor your mother and father so that your days may be long. Honor your mother and your father that your days may be long. So as I reach for a piece of paper on the refrigerator, both. It says, that's what the commandments say, right? So if you go to Exodus, and I'm going to explain this for a minute. There's the difference between the word honor and the word obey. All right. And what happens is, especially women, because they want obedience, and women, once a boy hits manhood, he don't obey her anymore. He start obeying the man spirit that the Most High put in him. If you remember, I'm straight out of Compton. That's why this backdrop is so important. If you remember Straight Outta Compton, Eazy-E got his mind in the street. No mom. All right. Yeah, he messed in the criminal element, but he was the financier. He was the mover and the shaker. Ice-T, his own mind again. But he followed the mind of his father, the creator, the creative one. All right. He was the one that wrote everything that everybody spoke. Dr. Dre, he developed his own thing. When did he kick it off? When his mama slapped him and he decided he's just going to leave the house and go out on his own. Oh, the reluctant Navi. happened the same way. Grew up in kind of an orphanage kind of place. Went home the last couple of years, right? Home wasn't good, and decided to kick it out on my own at 17. All right. What do we have in common? We realized that having the mentality of the woman was going to be detrimental to our future, right? And so you got to understand this. When it says honor, it doesn't mean obey. All right. And what Christians like to do is flip that word to say, oh, you got to obey, right? It's the first commandment with it's a commandment with promise. All right, hold on for a second. Well, I'll find it in a minute, right? So basically, his children had to ask him to stop beating this Derick Fisher, right? His young sons begged him to, right? Part of the problem is that he went to the house because of a concerning phone call he got from his sons, right? So here we go. Barnes has sent claim. This is the center paragraph. He went to the house because he was concerned for his son's safety after receiving an ominous text, reports claim. Speaking at practice on Thursday, he told ESPN reporter Ramona Shelburne he got a text from his 6-year-old son, Carter, around 10 p.m. That had him concerned. He said that he called his son on FaceTime, and when I saw his face, I knew something was wrong. His head was down on the couch, and he said, Mommy's friend Derick is here. Wow. So he did this, Derick Fisher, in front of the man's children. Though he refused to discuss what happened at the house, he made it clear that he and Fisher no longer associate with each other. Um, we were friends. We were good friends at one point. It's a personal matter. My focus is on basketball. Being here early, I don't want to start it off by having anything negative. The New York Post report that the incident occurred when Barnes, who was training in Santa Barbara, California, heard Fisher was at his estranged wife Gloria Gavan's house on Saturday. All right, and so again, story from the Daily Mail, right? So Gloria Gavan, sucking in that gut. I know I do it too. All right. This woman decides to lay up with the coach of her husband. Understand, I didn't say ex-husband. She decided to lay up in her house around this man's children with the coach of her husband. And one of the children calls daddy. That's how sick these women are. That's how really, really sick and evil and depraved these women are. But the reason why they're like that, is because there's no penalty for that evil. Right? Here's this thing. I'm going to read the commandment as it should be written from the Hebrew perspective. It does not say obey. All right, and even in the King James it says in 20 and 12, Exodus 20 and 12, it says, honor your father and your father and your mother, that your days may be long, right? Upon the earth, right? And the book I read, which is called the Scriptures, which has more of, they keep the names phonetically spelled. They don't change the spelling. They leave it in Hebrew, Yahawashah in the New Testament and Yahweh in the Old Testament. So that's that little scribble that y'all see when I'm coming to it, right? And so it says, Respect your father and your mother so that your days are prolonged upon the soil which Yahweh, your Elohim, is giving you. Right? Now, it says in 20 and 14, you do not commit adultery. Right? The other thing it says, you do not covet your Exodus 20 and 17. You do not covet your neighbor's house. You do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox or donkeys or whatever belongs to your neighbor. And until she gets a divorce, she's still a wife because they can reconcile. Right? But this dude goes to another man's house while he's at practice to sleep with his wife in front while his children are yet present. And this is ridiculous. This is a man, while separated, is paying child support and spousal support to this woman. Right? And this is why it don't pay to marry a black woman. One, a lot of them aren't qualified to be married. To be a maiden, you marry a maiden scripturally, right? If you find a maiden and you have sex with her, that's automatic marriage material, right? Except that's not what's happening because, well, most of the girls are losing their virginity by 12, right? To thuglets who are 13, 14, and 15, and 16. Why? Because anything goes in a black woman's house, especially when there's no man there. You understand? All right? And so, you got this man doing this in front of this person's children, right? Now, the New York Post reports that Fisher and Govan, who are stars on Basketball Wives of LA. So this dude is now pushing this kind of harlotry on national TV. Right? And they have been dating for a few months when Barnes and heard that Fisher and Gloria was at Gloria's home. He went crazy. He drove there to beat the SH out of Fisher. Derick was in Gloria's backyard with about 10 people having a bonfire Saturday. An unidentified witness told the New York Post. So Derick was in the man's backyard of the house he's paying for, with the child support he is paying for, with the money that he has given this black woman. Another black man who's the coach of said black man is in the back. I mean, you talking about disrespect for any kind of decorum, rules, laws, or anything. This man should be ostracized by every black man that hear this story. All right? Derick separated from his wife, and there's a relationship with Gloria. Right? He separated from his wife. He didn't even end the thing with his wife. Hopefully it ended badly for him. When Barnes heard Fisher was at Govan's home, he decided to confront his former LA Laker teammate. Fisher and Barnes have been friends and were teammates with the Los Angeles Lakers from 2010 to 2012. Someone told Matt that Fisher was at the house and he drove down there. He went over to confront Derick. According to a witness, Fisher was not badly injured. He will likely not press charges. Matt came after Derick, but he only had a few scratches. Derick's not going to press charges. He's going to let it go. Fisher left the scene before the police arrived. But Govan may file a restraining order against Barnes. You know what the restraining order do? Keep the black man from his children. Or part black man from his children. Oh, another tool in the black woman's arsenal. See, that's what I told you. Evil. Straight up evil. Right? And so, now that we know how evil these wenches could be, right? Now that we know how evil black women can be, right? Mind you, she probably got a degree and educated, not from the streets. Yeah, all right. And it don't matter if the black woman grew up with a mother and father or not. What happens is black women, when they get out in the open, right? They take on a herd mentality, and the black woman, don't mean to say all, but black women tend, like in a herd mentality, stick up for other black women no matter how much evil they're doing, and to copy the evil that they see being done. This is typically what black women do. All right, and this whole thing is disgusting. But more disgusting than this is this ignorant buffoon fool of a black man. Everywhere that Derick Fisher go, and any other rapper that advocate doing this to another with another man's wife, period. Anyone that advocates this, that puts it in a rap album, that puts it in a song, where Easy E taught you one thing: do not buy anything, burn it, and step on it. Just don't buy it at all. Right? Any any team that Derick Fisher is the coach of, right? Dude should not, black men. We need to not buy tickets there. And this is to anybody that do this kind of mess. All right, it's one thing to have um these girls that's being hoish, like a lot of them on all these love and hip hop and stuff like that, that they're not the wife of nobody, but you don't go after another man's woman. Any man that goes after another man's woman, all right, we need to ostracize them. We need to not buy nothing that they put out. We need to not see any game that this man is going to coach. Don't buy tickets, don't do nothing. And anytime for black men we hear the name, we remember this and we bring it up. Oh yeah, this was one of them triple S fools. The simp samples and sellouts that have no restraint. All right, I'm saying if a woman is free and clear, I advocate for a man getting his. Right? But there are some lines that just do not and should not be crossed. Ever. And this man crossed it. All right, created a public love triangle where, as I said, you're going to have to go watch Jada Black's video. The two men are paying for, with the female in the middle, the whore. And this is the difference between a whore and a prostitute. A prostitute, you pay her, she'll keep your stuff clear, secret, whatever. They have more ethics than a whore do. Way more ethics. Remember the prostitute that had the names of all the senators she slept with? She wasn't giving them up. She went to jail and everything. Because it was a matter of decency. You don't out people like that, especially when it shouldn't be illegal. Right? And she knew that they just wanted to ruin these men's names. Right? This is a whore. Quite different. They have no standards. They stand for nothing. They're evil. They have no God. Most black women have no God. They have religion, and they confuse religion for God, but they are godless. And the behavior exhibits that. Derick Fisher, godless. But he also thinks like a whorish black woman too. He hasn't manned up yet and got rid of that feminist mentality where you don't think there should be any you can do anything you want because there ain't no repercussion because you got money. All right? Like these black females, these Americanized females come here and now they believe that, oh, we females, so the rules apply to everybody but us. That's their mentality. Right? At the end of the day, because of this woman here, everybody picture here is paying for the mess that she caused, because them children had to witness it and tell their daddy to stop. The children were concerned and called their daddy because that man over their house doing stuff that the daddy's supposed to be doing. This woman, her behavior separated the daddy from his children. right? And so that's the problem, right? Everybody's paying for it but her. Oh, and guess what? She's getting paid to be that evil. Remember, they took away the spousal support, but they doubled her child support. But we'll let Jada Black get into that. Ain't that sad? Oh, guess who gets the child support? Oh, the mother. Who are you paying for child support? You're not paying the children. You're not paying for the children. All child support goes to the custodian parent. Parent, in this case, the mother. What this man should do is fight to get his sons out of her clutches, so that she don't have no money. She'll probably sleep around with a couple other basketball stars, and she can make money that way. But it shouldn't be from raising his sons. This man should get his sons, go to court, get his sons, and raise them his dang self. With that said, I'm out.